The need for a portable graffiti removal trailer was actually identified by one of our previous presidents. He used to take his own trailer out, offload it with his work gear. Every weekend activity that he and his team did. And they did a massive amount of work along the Tralala Creek Trail, which is a 5 kilometre trail. And also they, at the end of the activity, he would then have to take it home. His family and the other team members would all have to offload the stuff that he'd put in there for the graffiti and then load it up with his own work gear because he was a builder. So that became a not sustainable situation. I mean, you can only do that for so long and it becomes very frustrating. The proposal was prepared by Council with support from Victoria Police and Maroondah Neighbourhood Watch, and Steve, the previous president, having that background knowledge in conjunction with Fred. And as Robyn mentioned, Fred is a very passionate graffiti removalist. And of course his name's Fred Painter, so that makes it even better. They both worked together and came up with some practical ideas of how a graffiti trailer would actually work. Fully loaded, it's 1,200 kilos, which includes a 400 litre water tank. The trailer design itself was practical because we used a generator which was on the back of the trailer, not actually enclosed. Some graffiti trailers are actually enclosed. Easier to use than a normal lawnmower because you don't have to bend down and try and pull the starter motor. So again, safety aspect comes into it as well. Needed to be user friendly. Again, as I mentioned, it needed to be in the situation where we had safety aspects for people with limited abilities, because a lot of the people in our Neighbourhood Watch area are older people. A lot of our volunteers are older people with limited abilities. So that had to be taken into account. Someone mentioned about making sure that you have facilities for meals, like a lunch or a morning tea. Well, Fred and Steve actually organised that there would be facilities there for a kettle so that we could have morning tea and afternoon tea if we need to, and that encourages people to come along. Easy to maintain and use. And the other thing that was very much all the components that we need to make sure were kept secure, because you keep your chemical side of things inside the actual container base. The safety aspects is the chemical sniffing. So you can't leave any materials around, any of the cloths around. Everything's taken back to the depot to be disposed of in the right way.
So you just saw, I think, the picture of our completed trailer there. So the next slide shows that the equipment that's on our trailer, and we're very happy, if you are interested, you could email or call myself or Fred. We're happy to supply any of you with a checklist of what's on our trailer, our species for the trailer if you're interested. But I probably don't need to read them all out because they are all up there. But as Margaret said, most importantly, the petrol generator also generates the kettle for a cup of tea. So we look after our volunteers